Hey, it's Andre, and it's time for another Flying Friday update. And actually, for the first time, doing a real product review. GearBest has sent me the SOOCOO C10, which basically is your standard format, 1080p, 720p, 30 frames, 60 frames, a little Action HD camera. And out of the box so far, I've been impressed. It very much reminds me of the 4000, menu-wise and everything. But this one will do 60p, 60 frames per second at 720p, and is Wi-Fi enabled. So you can sit there and toggle between your photos and your video settings and so on. So I'm going to start torture testing this thing within the next couple of days. Tonight is stormy and windy and rainy, so I haven't had a chance to go flying with it, but I do want to strap this camera onto the Tricopter and fly it around in 720p and 60 frames per second, because I have never had the privilege of flying anything at with 60 frames per second before, and I want to see what it looks like. I will line this thing up and compare it to the 4000, which is what I use for my main 1080 camera, obviously the C10, and the old trusty GoPro, and just see what the image looks across. And we can see the lens, we can see the audio, we can check out everything, how it goes, and just do a standard across the board action camera extravaganza, if you will. But so far, the fact that it does the 60 frames per second is highly attractive to me, and I'm really getting a kick out of the whole HD, or sort of the Wi-Fi interface. So this will work with your iPhone or anything you can get an app for. This is a normal Android tablet, and again, just tabbing through, I can go in there and I can say press record, capture a photo, and all kinds of good stuff. So not too bad. Again, one of the other pluses is a battery, so you can get a spare battery for it, not like the internal batteries, especially on the newer GoPros. So that's a nice feature, being able to actually pop a battery out if you're in the field. I do that with my Turnigy all the time. Normal standard kit. It's got its underwater housing. Comes with all kinds of accessories and all the little roll bar mounts and loops and stuff like this, and your straps and so on. So it does have the extra open vented case. I think that's something you can run a strap through as well, so you can do a little different style. So all the mounts and everything. So I'm looking forward to putting this thing through its paces, and and seeing what it will do and how it records. Right now I'm actually recording the same video here at 60 frames per second at 720p, just for the fun of it, because I want to see how the microphone performs, how the camera lens performs. Whenever I do my podcast now, I actually have an external microphone, so I don't really worry about the sound off it for this kind of thing. But in the field, yeah, we'll torture test these things. I'd hoped and envisioned that I'd be able to put like all three cameras onto the Tricopter, but once I started trying to rig something up, it was just too much mass, too much risk to all the gear and the Tricopter itself. So I will put the camera on the Tricopter. If you looked on some of my social media stuff earlier this week, I was showing how the strap set up and everything is. So looking forward to seeing what this little C10 could do. Really impressed, like I said, with the Wi-Fi. It's my first experience with that, and really looking forward to seeing what I can get, what kind of cinematic change I can look at the 720. And actually, if I'm happy enough with the 720 changes, I'll probably switch my entire format over, shoot 720, because all of my little cameras and my HD cam, my Pilot HD cam with the Fat Shark gear, that all goes in 720p. So why not just use one format across the board? Really, my output is YouTube, so 1080 versus 720p, I don't think it makes a huge impact, and I don't think I look any better in 1080. So, other than that, busy working on repairing a couple airplanes. The weather has been really weird, but I have been soldering up the connectors on the ESC for the Wraith. That plane is back together. I did put the landing gear onto it, and I should probably try and finish off the other ones. I was goofing around with the Tricopter and ended up trimming a bunch of trees and breaking up the props. The little 250 was bombing around, and I ended up having an issue where it wouldn't lift off quite right, and it was doing some weird stuff. Turned out about 2 out of 4 motor mounts had broken up, so the motors were pitching around, so it explains why I was having a whole bunch of level issues. With the Tricopter, I flew 3 or 4 packs, just burning off the packs from Flight Fest, because they'd sat around in the bin waiting for something to do. and really concentrated on flying the aircraft in full manual mode versus stabilized or with a little bit of the auto level. So, which was really fun, really exciting. You know, EFX still needs to get its wing fixed. I still haven't done a whole lot with the Sky Mule. I did get out with the little UMX earlier this week and had that way up high in some beautiful clouds, and sun was there. Managed to actually snap a few photos. So had a few good podcasts with the after hours flight test after hours crew. So we've had some fun. We're going to work on some logos. Looks like we've been given permission by Josh Bixler to start producing a logo for the After Hours crew, and then we'll be able to get some t-shirts together. And just, you know, why not, right? Why not celebrate what we've managed to accomplish in a year now? So, other than that, just hoping that this weekend, it's the August long weekend for the Canadians, depending on which province you're in. Some don't all have this weekend off, but we do, so yay! So I'm going to look forward to trying to get out flying. Like I said, my goal tomorrow is to take the C10 out to the field and really see what this thing can do as far as acquisition-wise, and see how it stacks up against the other action camera. So far, like I said, I'm impressed. Really thrilled to be able to do this, and there are some other updates, reviews coming up. Just was contacted about looking at a neat little 3D profile plane that someone asked me to review. So more details on that when I have the product in my hand. Other than that, have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you on the flight line. Cheers. So now we're looking at video coming off the C10 versus my Turnigy Action Cam. Okay, so I've set the C10 up at 1920 by 1080, 30 frames per second. Color is set to auto white balance, and we're using audio right off the camera versus the exterior microphone because we want to test all these features. Exact same setup for lighting wise and everything as we just used in the Friday Flying update and the action camera. So, you know, there's some objects moving around. Some reflective surfaces, you know, off the tablet and everything. So, be kind of curious to see how it performs, see if there's any massive color differences. I mean, everything can be tweaked in after, you know, in post, but I want to see how that lens looks and feels and everything. And I can't wait to get this thing outside. So, there we go, test number 2.